Today we will talk about how to frost a Bundt cake with buttercream frosting. Bundt cakes are my absolute favorite to make. This cake takes its name from the mold it is baked in. It is a traditional European mold that is shaped like a ring, with a hole in its center and some kind of decorative shape on top. It comes from a German dessert called Kugelhopf, Gugelhopf, Gugelhopf or Gugelhopf. It was made in this type of mold, but it was not a cake. It was rather a pastry, made with enriched dough, raisins, butter, and other ingredients. These cakes can be cut and filled out with buttercream or not. You can even frost them with buttercream if you happen to have a ring mold with no decorations on top. Cakes were made with dried fruit and alcohol, and this allowed them to be kept at room temperature for longer without going bad. As most of the cakes we make today, Bundt cakes include dairy or eggs. They need to be refrigerated if you want to keep them past a couple of days. How to freeze Bundt cakes depends on how you have made it. If it does not have any type of icing or frosting, you can go ahead and wrap it with 2 layers of plastic wrap. Afterward, wrap it in a layer of aluminum wrap and place it in the freezer. Although fresh frosting is always best, and you should try to frost your cakes the day they are meant to be eaten, you can still keep it in the freezer. Place your cake on a plate and put it in the freezer. Once it is hard, cover it with 2 layers of plastic wrap, just like you would a non-frosted cake, and place it back in the freezer. First, take the cake down to the fridge and leave it there for a day or 2 at least. Then, thaw it over the counter for at least 2 hours. This will take the cake back to room temperature. Do not take out the cover. It is possible that the temperature difference makes the cake and the buttercream will sweat. This may cause any buttercream that is on top of the cake or the top cake layer to slide out of place. Put it delicately back with a butter knife. We actually recommend taking the cake out of the freezer the day before you intend to serve it. We also advise you to keep the plastic wrap on the cake while it thaws. This is because the built-up condensation will be absorbed back by the cake. It is important that you wrap your Bundt cake. Freezers are smelly places, although it may not seem like it when you open them for just a few seconds at a time. An unprotected cake will catch unwanted odors from other foods being kept in the same place, so it is very important to wrap them correctly. Also, wrapping keeps other bacteria and additional moisture from entering the cake. You can freeze cakes for up to a year, but we do not recommend you eat them past that mark. Although sugar is a natural preservative, it is not foolproof. The problem is that you incorporate moisture to the freezer and its contents every time you open it, and remember, moisture is your enemy. If the cake was out of the fridge for 4 days before being frozen in a very hot area, no matter how long you freeze it, the bacteria that are now probably living on it will not die. Be mindful of where and how the cake was made so that you do not serve anything that could make anybody sick. This is very important when freezing leftovers. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.